Did you know that in 2014, 3.6 million child maltreatment reports were made in the US involving over 6 million children? Hello, my name is Melany, and according to the Child Rights Organization, 75% were neglected, 18% were physically abused, and 9% were sexually abused. Now, you may ask yourself, how can someone do such a thing to such an innocent child? Well, there's one special kind of help, a social worker. Social workers are often misinterpreted and put as bad people when they're really not. I have spent the past 2.5 years of my college life studying sociology. I have taken many different courses and have become very educated in this subject. In this speech, I will tell you all about what it means to actually be a social worker and all the troubles that a child can go and we may not even see it. A huge problem with social workers is that people don't really understand the work that they do. Social workers are essentially needed. You can often think of them as a special guide or a counselor. They have a special want in helping the community and the people around them. Social workers also help others develop their skills and abilities to help those in their communities. According to the United States Department Bureau of Labor Sciences, social work is one of the fastest growing careers in the United States. The profession is expected to grow by 19% between 2012 and 2022. More than 650,000 people currently hold work degrees. This goes to show how social work is really overlooked. Social workers help individuals, families, and groups enhance their abilities to grow in life. Being a social worker requires knowledge of human development and behavior of social, economic, and cultural institutions, and the interaction of all these other factors. The most important job that a social worker has is looking into the lives of young children, children whose families sometimes cannot support them or have troubles dealing with certain situations. In 2014, statistics showed that victims in the first year of life had the highest rate of victimization at 2.4 per 1,000 children of the same age in the national population. This is a graph that shows abuse and neglect by victims by age in the year of 2014. As you can see, it starts by months and it ends by when a child is 17. We can see that there's a variety of differences, but the ones who are most neglected start at months, which is 24.4, and teenagers end in 3.5. There's a variety, but children should never be neglected. A child who is neglected can go through many different situations in their life. They can become antisocial and even fail in school. Now that we have discussed what a social worker really is and the types of neglect a child can go throughout different ages of their life, what can be done? From a young age, children are exposed to different situations based on the area that they live in. Some children, unfortunately, are more fortunate than others. However, I believe that schools should briefly explain to students what it means to have a social worker in their life. It would be good for children to know what a social worker is because you never know what types of situations they might face. They might sometimes see a social worker come into their life and think of them as a bad person when they're only trying to help them. Different programs in schools can be made where children can interact with adults, which will make them more comfortable in case they sometimes have to tell them something. It is not to say that they will all have to encounter a social worker in their life, but if they do, they will be prepared and not be scared. Now let's visualize. Let's think about all those cases that we haven't heard about, the cases that no one talks about, but have been very successful. Some people may think that social workers have no business in coming into their life and judging their family's circumstances. However, if they were to really think about the successful cases that have been accomplished and the way that children's lives have changed and how happy they have become, they would change their mind in an instant. Now, let's look at Taylor Orsi's case. Her life was changed when she saw that man with the mustache walk through her door. She was a young girl who at first was asked by her teachers what was wrong with her. They noticed that something was wrong with her because of the ways that she wrote her stories and she drew her pictures. She asked them about what was going on at home and she told them the truth. However, when they called her father in, he told her to deny the whole thing, and that's exactly what she did because she was scared about what might happen to her when she would get back home. A few months passed and things seemed to get better, but they really hadn't been any better. Until one day, she saw that man, the man with the mustache, the man that she would never forget ever again in her life. As she saw the man, she just thought it was one of her dad's regular friends. But as he came up to her and told her to tell him the truth about what was going on at home, she felt safe. She felt like she could tell him. As she told him the truth, she never thought she would ever feel such relief. But she never thought that she wouldn't have seen her father for the next 3 years. This changed her life. She was happy. She felt secured. She wanted to keep in touch with her social worker, but that was impossible. She tells this story because she knows how important social workers are and she knows how they can change your life. So now that everything has been said, what can we do? It does not matter how old you are. Whenever you need help, you can seek for it. If people become too afraid to ask for help, their situations will only get worse. It doesn't matter your age, sex, or race. If you know someone or you yourself have been neglected or abused, it's not too late to stand up. Organizations like Child Help provide a safe place, a place where you can tell your stories, volunteer, and even donate to help children who are in need. And remember, it's never too late. You just always need to want to help yourself and the ones around you. Let's help bring down those 3.6 million maltreatment reports by telling people what social workers really do and not letting others put things in our heads. Thank you for listening. My name is Melany Peralta.